Welcome everyone to your second session on the Python data types. In the last session, you had learned what the data types are and how they are used. You also saw what strings were and a few of their operations. We learned the replace operation and you will see more of them today. So let us try this string1 in string2 function. So first of all, let us start off by making our variables. Say that string1 is equal to hello and string2 is equal to hello world. Now let us see if string1 is inside string2. So you can do that with this string in string2 function, or string1 in string. So as you can see, hello is there inside hello world, right? But now let's try it the other way around. String in string1, that would be false. And let us try and see if when we make string1 as hello exclamation mark and we try string1 in string, we get false, though there's an exclamation mark in the end. This is because it checks for the whole string in another string, and hello as a whole is there in hello world as a whole. Now we can also add strings, and this isn't just adding, this is called concatenation of strings. We are attaching one string to another. So let's change string1 to Python. Let's try and add string1 and string2. String1. As you can see, it came hello world and Python all together. If this is a little too confusing for you, you can also put a space bar. You can also use two spaces, but then it starts getting confusing. Let us try and experiment with a different string. Let's say string plus, instead of string1, let's say coding. As you can see here, hello world exclamation mark and coding. Now this is addition of strings. What if you wanted to add a string to itself? You can do that also. String hello world. But what if you want to do this repeated number of times? Yes, you can do plus string and then plus string, right? But a simple way to escape doing the huge line like this is to multiply it. So you can see string multiplied by the number of times you want to multiply it. I want to multiply it 10 times. So string into 10. See here, I got hello world 10 times. Now you can only multiply by a whole number in the end. You can do it the other way around also. That also works. Because, and you can also increase the value. What about multiplying by negative numbers? That will result in nothing at all. What about multiplying with decimals? That will result in a type error. You can't multiply a non-int of type float. So, an integer, int is integer. And speaking of integers, let us learn about them now. So for that, just go to idle and say restart idle, restart shell. Yes, now all our variables have been reset and we can start off from fresh. So now here, what are integers and floats used for? Integers in Python are integers that are not put in quotes. If you put them in quotes, they become strings. So now notice, if you start a Python integer with, let's say, 0, 9, it will result in an error. So that's why in such a case you need to remove that 0 and type the number without the 0 if it's in the beginning. So if I type 9t, that's fine. If I say 08, NASA 8, this, you can see syntax error. You can't have leading zeros. So you have to start with a whole natural number. If I say -09, I still get the error. This is not a bug with Python. And now let's move over to the next. The basic syntax of an integer is like this. So let's create our variable, let's say num1 or int1. Never start with a variable with str, int, bool, float, list, tuple, then set, frozen set. All of these, avoid using them, as in don't use them at all. Also dict and several other variable names. I'll give you a set of rules while creating your variables later. So now we'll create our integer. So int1, as I said, you can't just use int, so int1, and then let's say is equal to, let's execute it. Now let's look at the basic syntax of a float. So float1 is equal to 98.78. That's the basics of creating a float and integers. So in the next session, you will see the operations used in integers, such as the addition, subtraction, multiplication, in the coming session. See you next time.